Welcome to Lothar's Guitar School. Today we talk about Nacada, analysis and improvisation. And here we go. If we look at the chart, we see it has no key signature. That's because it runs through several keys in the song, and it's easier to write it just without key signature instead of changing the key signature. So in the beginning we're in the key of G, which is pretty clear. So that's the one chord, calls for Ionian scale, followed by a 6 minor 7 chord, which is Aeolian. That's could be any nice progression on a standard song. Then we come to an E major 7 chord, which is the flat 6 major 7 in the key of G and calls for a Lydian scale. Then we have the B7 altered chord, which could be considered the 5-7 of this 6, of this E minor 7, and calls for an altered chord. That's pretty easy. And if you're not familiar with these symbols, an arrow means that we have a 5-7 chord. So it's a dominant function. If we have a dotted line, dotted arrow, that means we have a substitute dominant, which is always a half step above the chord that it goes to. And the substitute dominance usually calls for a Mixolydian sharp 11 chord. And the bracket is also a 2 minor 7, 5-7 progression. So these are important progressions, and that helps to find out how we go. So from here, the B7 altered goes to a 6 minor 7 Aeolian. It's the same as above. The next one is the A7 sharp 11. If we are in the key of G, this would be a 2-7 chord. Yes, it's possible, but if you look at it, this goes to the A flat major 7, So that's a substitute dominant. That's important for us. It calls for a sharp 11 here already. So very clearly the scale is a Mixolydian sharp 11 scale. And the A flat major 7 could be considered a new 1 or the flat 2 of the key of G. If that's the flat 2, would be a Lydian, and if it's a new 1, it would be Ionian. Doesn't make much of a difference. The melody doesn't say what it is. This could be a new 1, and then this would be the 4-7, and that would call for a Mixolydian sharp 11, which would fit nicely. It has the E flat and the F in the melody. And Mixolydian sharp 11 goes very often a half step down as a substitute dominant, which it does here. C minus 7 flat 5 F7 looks like it is a 2-5 progression in minor, which would then go to B flat minor. If we look at it, it is not, the F7 is not a 5-7 of something, it is a substitute dominant. So the surprise is in this song when you land on the E6 here, on the C sharp in the melody, which is the surprise, and this would call for a Mixolydian sharp 11. And again, if you look at it, it has the E flat, the D flat in the melody, which is taken out of the harmonic minor of the 5th degree. So if this would be going to a B minor 7. So again, ambiguous function, which makes this so interesting. We're clearly in Ionian, this is the new 1, major, very important to see. We have these minor 7th before, and we have this 2-5 in minor, but it goes to something completely different. That is the surprise. A7 would be considered again a 4-7, and the 4-7 in a major key calls for a Mixolydian sharp 11. Again, we go now to the D major 7. If we look at it in the key of E, this would be the flat 7, but this is clearly the new 1 because the melody and the chord functions are the same as we had in the beginning here. So this is just a 4th or down or a 5th above what we had here. So this is the Ionian again, this is Aeolian as there, and this is Lydian. Next chord is the E flat 7 sharp 11, calls for a Mixolydian sharp 11 scale, and that's the sub 5 of the 1, the one that we were in, the D major 7. And there is just a minor 7 chord interspersed. Very often you have the dominant, the next chord after it. So, and that's 2 minor 7, very simple Dorian Mixolydian, going back to G major 7. So this is the analysis of Nacada, and you see there's a lot of ambiguous functions, which makes it so interesting. Well, that was Nacada, analysis and improvisation. Thanks for watching Lothar's Guitar School, and hope to see you here soon again. Take care and bye-bye.